something that SRG needs to consider. But again, when we head into the drafting phase, it comes down to which side both teams are on. If SRG's on red side, they got a lot of thinking to do in this first phase, especially.
Let's see who won the coin flip, and it looks like FNOP have decided to, at very least, actually, we're not sure who wins the coin flip, but whether or not, SRG decided to go red, even if they did. But at the end of the day, Suyo has been a very strong opener for the blue side, and especially in the hands of King Kong, it doesn't feel like he ever hesitates on his decision, which is why he seems to be so mobile on this one pick.
It's not just that, it's also kind of the macro knowledge, right? I think a lot of people have talk about FNOP as a team that are so good in their mechanics that it translates into those macro decisions. We saw that with picks like Suyo, like Luoyi, and I think the general consensus would be this iteration of FNOP is the best out there, right? Like it feels that they're irreplaceable right now.
So FNOP have respect banned two of the topics of Cram in the Swiss stage, which is the high loss and the Hilda, and the space that it provides, while taking away a stable alpha pickup for SRG in the hands of Sakai. So they are signaling to SRG to go ahead, let's play the assassin game. Let's go for the high mobile, high damage heroes that we're known to use, Sakai and King Kong, while for SRG they take away the Fanny of King Kong, and one of the most stable bans you have to commit when you're up against Fnatic ONIC Philippines is actually the Ju Xin. So for SRG, are they thinking of taking away the Bruno, or they actually take away the joy of King Kong?
This is actually pretty smart here, because now I want to see what the opener for FNOP is going to be. Is it going to be instantly pick up the Phoveus to try and deny another pick away from Cram? If they do decide to give Phoveus away and go for Blue Yo once again, which they usually do, especially on that blue side, that means they might have another potential answer to the Phoveus, maybe in terms of just lane pressure or wave clear with Gatot, or maybe some other picks.
If you want to go for first pick Bruno, like a lot of teams do, there is also that choice. The Luoyi is also up on the table for FNOP. If you want to first pick it, now is your chance, right? Because SRG, they're essentially willing to go for the trade, but this King Kong Suyo is now going to be out of his cage.
Yeah. So the next possible trades are Cho, Suyo, maybe even a surprise Luoyi steal as one of the first two picks on the red side, so that Super Friends won't get his hands on it. Though they did get a BTK with that hero, FNOP are very prideful of that Luoyi pick.
Yeah, they are. And very understandably so, man. Super Prince is one of those Luoyis where it's hard to imagine Luoyi without him.
Yeah.
Now, Luoyi's stolen away, but they also decided to take away the Cho. I would have imagined that they would lean into maybe picking up the Bruno alongside the Cho and attack the gold roam support side of the map, but doing it in this particular order now tells, hey, if you pick up the Bruno, that's totally fine, but you must take the Purify alongside it.
That, and also this, I know that we've seen SRG flex that Cho a few times in the local league for Cram. I mean, if they want to go down that route, it's always there, depending on what the roamers are left in the pool after this. But for FNOP, this is one of the few teams that does not mind leaving Kelra's hero for last, right? So for them in this case, they're not really worried about that goal lane matchup. They've won in a disadvantage matchup, but that Bruno is online, so you guys just pick it.
Okay, and there's the Khalid for Fnatic ONIC Philippines, going most likely into the hands of Brusco. Now, Fnatic ONIC Philippines, though, still need to be careful of potentially SRG swerving and picking up a lineup that does well with Fredrin in the jungle. They were able to play that well up against during the Swiss stages, so I wouldn't be surprised if they might have their eyes set on building that and just playing for a lineup that wants to supplement a long-range hero such as a Granger for Innocent.
I'm thinking about Burst, right? As much as Granger sounds like a great idea, I feel like taking a Beatrix might just be the better bet only because you have the Cho. But if they don't want to go through that route, they can look to pick up Phoveus now, despite Khalid being that flex pick, just to kind of force, hey, EXP side of the map might just be within our control. You're forced to play towards gold.
Yeah, I like a Phoveus pickup for SRG here. And it's going to be the boss.
Wow. I mean, you can't blame him, right? Like, when they asked about his what pick do you want to help us win a knockout game, and he said Moskov, give it to him.
This is a very interesting idea because this feels very NIP Flash, right?
Yeah.
It feels like they kind of want to play with the diversions. They want to sneak into the back line at key opportunities in this game. And as an SRG fans are building up the hype for the second half of the drafting phase, there are still a lot of holes for both teams this side. It doesn't look very lopsided right now.
Yeah. So with SRG playing the map, that sort of shuts down one of the tendencies of Fnatic ONIC Philippines. Their signature 4-1 split that sends King Kong into the far lane while 4 members of the strong team fight by FNOP can hold the major objective. FNOP blocks the Fredrin while SRG blocks the Sicilian. Fantastic drafting and banning from these two teams so far.
Wonderful, wonderful draft.
This is why some people say that you are looking at a potential grand finals match already, right? Like the drafting is just masterclass from both teams. Just good understanding. Like we see Super Prince with the Sicilian also. The only difference is that SRG, they're looking for a jungler and a flex, whereas for FNOP, they're looking for Super Prince's hero, and SRG, they're trying to block it out.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what they're going to do to get that level of burst with the Cho. I mean, Cho can be used proactively or defensively. He's extremely flexible in that sense. I'm curious whether or not, as you've mentioned before, whether this Cho flex into the EXP is a good idea. And I think that's what they're going to do all the way to the very end, as they've already banned out Godthought. Unless they want to solidify what their EXP lane, they're probably going to pick Phoveus, worst comes to worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there goes a Nolan.
The signature Nolan from Sakai's. Just good respect.
Wow. Well, great respect from both of these two. I wonder if that means that they might end up picking something like a Hayabusa for Sakai's as one of his last best options. The Ling is still on the board, but Ling has definitely fallen out of favor.
What about Julian?
I feel like actually, unless they have, if they go Julian here, all they're missing is whether or not they have an EX, unless they go for like a damaged EXP laner, because then it just won't be enough, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to supplement, you're trying to look for, if you play Julian, you're looking for a composition that is willing to skirmish on a drop of a dime, right? At any point of time, let's go for the all-in.
Oh. Okay, they get the Turizla, a solid front. So I wonder how solid they'll actually get with this lineup. What if suddenly, now they will need to go damage in the jungle, or they're gonna be playing for a very mid, very late game style of play style. Well, Fnatic ONIC Philippines needs a little bit more AoE in their books.
Yeah, it's telling Kelra that, okay, you need Purify for the choke kick. Hey, if you use Purify, you're not gonna have Flicker for the penalty zone, right? You gotta pick a poison. This is limit testing Kelra. Kind of put him in a spot where you gotta play your best game as a Bruno.
Oh, I wonder if they'll pick up a CC for Kirk. Go for the traditional CC Turizla matchup.
I was thinking that as well.
Tamus?
I feel like Edith may make a little bit more sense here, only because you want to keep up pressure, but at the same time, I still don't know who's going to go into the EXP lane. I feel like Khalid can technically go there as well, but when you have Varsa on your side, it makes a little more sense to have Edith as your support.
It feels like it's a Brusco Khalid. Like we've seen him play like Khalid roam plenty of times.
And Edith is a signature pick of Cram in MPL Philippines, so that's going to be the lineup for FNOP. They needed just a little bit more magic damage, so they paired it up with the Edith as well. Good damage distribution and profile for FNOP, while for SRG, they have the choice. They can either go Assassin in the jungle, or they're just going to go sturdy again and just play for a mid to late style play style. I'm leaning towards a Hayabusa right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it doesn't feel like there's much choices right now with the Fredrin and Nolan banned out. If not Hayabusa, Julian is probably like the riskier pick, but Hayabusa is definitely feels like that one.
It's Julian.
Oh yeah, they went to Julian. All right, okay.
All right, yeah, they want to be able to fight at any point of time in the game, pre-level 3. If they will get some kind of an early lead, it'll be interesting to see, but both sides very team fight heavy. This Farsa pick is going to be dangerous.
Fnatic ONIC Philippines versus Selangor Red Giants in the very first day of knockouts. Make some noise, Iowa Cinema!
A glimpse of a finals matchup between the champions of their respective regions, and man, looking at the lineup, they really choked Sakai's, like as you mentioned before, with the draft in bans.
Choking him is an understatement. I think they really ran the Sky Prince out of his jurisdiction and said, you know what, throw back to about 6 months ago when Julian was good. Let's get into the battlefield as we watch these two champions, these two titans of MLBB Esports clash for our entertainment. Wherever you're watching from, at home here with us in the arena. If you are at a watch party, one of those from all around the world, thank you so much for making us part of your weekend. Let's check out these early rotations. Is this the first time we're actually seeing Super Vince on a far side in a year? Maybe in a couple of years since his debut.
I think so. We've used to seen him use Louis, the Valentinas, even the Faramis, but right now, an artillery mage. You know that Super Prince really wants to give out the damage. Just looking at the emblems, he's ready for war.
The monster mage here, putting up quite an effort. The Malaysian GOAT pushing him out. Humes, in comes the beast!
They're going in for an early aggression onto Cram. Same like what we've seen during the first series, wherein they want to target the XP lane. They're going to keep the gold lane safe first. They're not going to mind that. All eyes are on the XP lane.
Look at this multifaceted attack. The assault on the senses by Fnatic ONIC Philippines. Silango Red Giants, we've yet to see them pull any proactive moves here in this early bout. Again, a minute and a half in, and for the first time, it's Humes crossing the river.
I actually like that you point that out, because if you're gonna watch out for the games of SRG, we've seen Sekai in his local scene, you know, be the aggressor, go for the invades. But right now, so far in M6, we haven't seen the aggressive side of Sekai. Maybe it's because of the draft, because they're trying to choke him out like what Fnatic ONIC Philippines do. But right now, if SRG wants to go up against a Titan and bring them down, Sekai needs to be proactive.
Brusco coming in with those hot scimitars. Quick check on the gold lane for Mer league mates. Both MVPs, both MSC champions at that, and now Brusco jumping in.
Yes, and Kelra already pops his Purify. Brusco on the other hand, quick side guard. Here comes Yuns. G2 Craft goes in with a penalty zone, and the first one drawn onto the bruiser of Fnatic ONIC. Craft picks up the kill.
And that was a trade. Fnatic ONIC happy to get that out of the way as King Kong secures the turtle. If you ask me, 4 out of 5 times, that's worth it. King Kong overshoots.
Overshoots, but now focuses his eyes on Sekai's. Here comes Yuns though to the rescue. He doesn't have his level 4 yet. But on the other hand, Super Prince brings down his reign of terror over Stormy.
The Mage Prodigy didn't see that coming. Again, that is what's so elusive. That is what's so odd about seeing Super Prince on an artillery mage.
Yeah, this time, we've said this a lot of times. Super Prince has been the unsung hero of Fnatic ONIC Philippines. He has been a team player, but it looks like this time he's gonna be the star that the Super family needs to bring down the Giants.
Amazing how they have relegated core status to Super Prince. And I'll tell you now, I'm seeing where it's coming from, because King Kong, he's playing more of a utility Suyo, as weird as that sounds. So far, this has given Fnatic ONIC about 1,000 gold ahead, 3.5 minutes in. Second turtle spawning in the lower quarter, so expect a little bit more action there, a little bit more of a commotion around our gold laners. More on Kelra, more on Innocent. I believe the score is X and nil. Not a single game Innocent has won when he's faced off against the gold standard.
Yeah, but this guy, in this case, Innocent though, his mindset has changed. It's shifted. He doesn't think about the player behind the hero. This time, he just thinks about the hero matchup, when in this case, it's Bruno. And we all know Bruno can be a lane bully, especially with the fast rotation for the mid trio of Fnatic ONIC Philippines. So they're going to play it safe. Again, they have a huge advantage when it comes to the mid to late game. They still have Stormy on the Louis that can play a huge role when it comes to the macro gameplay.
And we've yet to see those diversions come into play, given we are in the early game, 4 minutes in. Huge rotations up top. King Kong and Kirk making sure the coast is clear as they rotate back, using the waves, using the current to rotate in. The flicker away.
But on the other hand, they're going to go for a counter-attack though. Defender airstrike is there. Silango Red Giants still has the numbers game advantage. Scrap still has the penalty zone plus the flicker. Let's see who's going to set up first in the turtle pit.
Humes here down to 1/4 of his health.
Oh, penalty zone! Connecting onto Brusco. Raging Phantom is there, but it's not going to be enough to sustain the damage. Coming in from Silango Red Giants. Fnatic ONIC Philippines on the other hand, answering right back. Brings down Humes, brings down Sekai's, and it looks like King Kong has a clear path to this turtle. But Kirk says, we don't just want the turtle, we want 3 bodies. 3 giants will be taken down.
That was hot.
It was.
2.2K now, 5 minutes in, suddenly the snap. Ladies and gentlemen, the clutch has been stepped on, and we're going into 6th gear as Fnatic ONIC go into Silango Red Giants jungle. Even Humes can't stand the heat.
Honestly, at this point, it's not the 6th gear, it's the 7th, 8th, 9th tempo on Fnatic's side at 2.9K gold lead. You rarely see SRG on the backseat having a step back. on the aggressor side. So Fnatic ONIC Philippines, they've studied what SRG can do again, utilizing their knowledge down to the draft, preventing Sekais from getting a good hero. But here comes the diversion from SRG.
All right, it looks like Kirk saw that coming. So this relative mum, this silence, this calm before the storm allows for us to catch our breath, you too, Ingan. So with that said, 6 minutes incoming, a minute until another turtle spawns. It's a crapshoot. It's a dice roll here for Selangor Giants if they want to fight that, because if anything, right now they're going into what we usually see in the late game for these high-octane teams, these well-oiled engines. They would rather go for ambushes. You saw that diversion.
Yeah, we saw that diversion again, but Fnatic ONIC Philippines, they're 1 step, 2 steps ahead. Even Super Friends, this is one of his signature heroes. He knows where the diversions will be casted, even down to the specific time. As King Kong trying to dish out and kite away Cram. Cram has to walk away, but this time, they might overcommit onto King Kong.
He goes down, a clean pick-off by Selangor Red Giants, and here's a clapback. Yums gets flipped over and burnt out. Super Frizz gets a kill.
A roam for a jungler, that might be a favorable trade for SRG. That's why SRG wants to extend their lead. The Spirit Destruction will connect along with the penalty zone, but Kirkdale with Earth Shatter catching SRG off guard, and they're gonna halt the clash. But Stormy says, Super Friends, it's my time to shine, brings him down.
1-1, the score between the Mage Prodigy and the Monster Mage in mid. And they're man down. It looks like Selangor Giants have found the window.
Okay, but Brusco though has a good opportunity here. Yums on the other hand has to conceal. Now it's gonna be a turtle. That's Yums was able to just undo.
And they find one. Ikram in the middle of it all, taken down by King Kong. Stormy and the Yin Yang.
King Kong delivering the Sever to bring down Stormy and take back what he did to Kelra. As Innocent has to walk away, getting chased down by Brusco and the Kirk. Here comes the Raging Sandstorm.
The Bruiser finds one. Innocent is down. Sekai's the only one left. ONIC Philippines are fanatic about this as they take the last turtle. None for SRG.
The Super Family displaying excellence, displaying their chemistry. You said that Brusco found one. Well, Super Friend says, I'm gonna take him down, brother. 4.6k gold lead. And even if Selangor Giants, we do have to commend Yums. He has been performing relatively well. The Jeet Kunduz has been connecting.
He's my goat.
Wave the Dragon as well. But the problem is, Fnatic ONIC Philippines, again, always 2-3 steps ahead.
From minute 0, I think Fnatic ONIC have found their way in to SRG's camp. They, some way, somehow, made Sekai struggle even harder. Critics, analysts, fans would say this is not the Sekais we saw in MSC. This is not the same Sky Prince from Riyadh when they won MSC. And now they put him on a hero that isn't even meta. And now Yums is in trouble. In comes Brusco.
Kirk with the Earth Shatter. Here comes the Feathered Airstrike. The artillery coming in from Super Fringe just to bring down Innocent. And that's the proper target the Fnatic ONIC Philippines wanted. He went for Yums, but now Brusco, trying to go for Sekais. As Sekais tries to work on his purple buff. Here comes King Kong, dashes in. Cram still has his penalty zone just to counter-attack, but SRG will have the discipline to walk away and just let Fnatic ONIC Philippines get the purple buff.
The Sigma Junglers Riz, Ohio Phantom Tax, pushing in. They're not done.
Oh, Yums though, in a very good position. Cram goes in for the penalty zone.
Kelra in trouble, taken out. Yums gets his man, and that's a pick-off. Selangor Red Giants finds one.
Wow.
Like a needle in a haystack.
Leo, Fnatic ONIC Philippines initiation, they got Innocent. What's a better way to answer right back? SRG, Yums with the conceal onto the backline to take down Kelra. They know their target, and they're hitting their marks.
He got that without a flicker, ladies and gentlemen. So he got it the hard way. Now suddenly, since Fnatic are a man down, Selangor Giants are standing their ground. They're pushing back against Fnatic. Sekai,
the mechanically gifted jungler for SRG. He needs to be able to out-retreat King Kong during this first Lord fight.
despite the comebacks, you know, these small jabs at Fnatic ONIC's lead, I think you're right. I think the retry diff, the jungle diff here is going to be key. Lord here down to a 5th of himself, down to a 10th.
Okay, here comes the Raging Sandstorm coming in from Brusco, and Stormy gets the Lord! Innocent on the other hand, just to sing on the down to the knees. Cram in the midst of everything will be taken down in exchange from Brusco. Sakai also falls down. Here comes the counterattack coming in from Fnatic, ONIC Philippines, but SRG, Stormy gets the Lord.
Oh, in comes King Kong, the Beast finds his target. 3 for 1. The Lord now looking like a bad deal for SRG.
Now Fnatic, ONIC Philippines turns the tides to their favor once again. SRG not going to be able to use up this Lord. Kelra's going to make quick work of it. That's why SRG, I think they want to go to look for a pick-off here. They know that Fnatic, ONIC Philippines is scattered.
And just like that, Kelra and Kirk make quick work of the Lord. That's a negative gain, if ever we've seen one from a Lord take. Very expensive, very costly. And folks, that was off of a turn from Fnatic ONIC. You could have sworn that SRG got away with it. You could have sworn it was worthy of the trade. But the mechanics of communication, the synergy of Fnatic ONIC, who'd have thought that was possible? King Kong show himself here. River control by the defending champions from the Philippines. SRG back to square one. They're trapped again on their side of the map.
You know, the way that Fnatic ONIC Philippines has been grouping up, it's like that they're the ones with the diversion. It's like they're the ones confident and in a better position to make a play compared to what SRG has been doing. We haven't seen so far a diversion play.
Ikram pushing back. It makes sense though, the way they're moving like this. And there you go, Brusco, no one home. Up to the wall, and the conceal.
Penalty zone coming in from Grab Super Prince. Even in the midst of everything, gonna cast a feathered airstrike. Gonna try and bring down Grab. Kelra picks one kill. Here comes King Kong, dashes in, forcing SRG once again to retreat. And Fnatic ONIC Philippines. I mean, that wasn't a perfect executed initiation. But for some reason, the guts of Super Prince, even though SRG is literally staring at him, he still casted the feathered airstrike.
Must have been bittersweet, popping those spells on his former teammate. Nothing personal. 4,000 gold here. Fnatic ONIC is ahead, 14-7. The Lord spawning up top. They catch Humes. Forced him back. Another feathered airstrike. That's a warning shot.
Warning shot to make sure Yums doesn't have the comfort of going for those brushes. Again, they were... this is actually Fnatic ONIC Philippines' adaptability. A while ago, when they were able to take down Kelra, that's what Yums did. He went to that brush specifically, then eventually concealed to try and able to Jit Kundu, then Way of the Dragon Kelra, despite the Purify. So you can see already the adaptability of Fnatic ONIC Philippines.
This is Fnatic ONIC freestyling and changing the tempo, changing the measures. They understood what SRG was trying to get at, so they changed the beat and they pushed Humes out of that bush, and now they control even that lower quarter. Once more, they catch Humes, forcing him to dash back into that purple side brush. And now the conceal. Where's Fnatic ONIC going? Who do they spot? Ikram pushed out. Brusco. Sand walks in, and they realign. Again, a scrum here. Looking for the engage.
Good use of the conceal to try and get SRG out of position. Just looking at damage coming in from Kelra. Here comes Cram with the conceal. Stormy though, diversion play. Spirit of Destruction also connects. A lot of isolated clashes happening right now. But still Sakai's gets the Lord. Kelra answers back with a volley shot to bring down Sakai's and Stormy. Again, same thing happened. SRG with the Lord, Fnatic with the kills.
The jungler in the mid for a Lord and nothing to trade for it? I think Fnatic ONIC had this planned out all along. I mean, sure, you could have retrieved, but King Kong made the call. He said, I'm going to go on Stormy, and we're going to make him pay. Lord spawns down bottom, but mid and top are for Fnatic.
At this point, SRG, that's more than what they wanted. Preventing Fnatic ONIC Philippines from getting the Lord and getting an inhibitor turret down. 4 seconds before Stormy respawns, Sakai's responds. They have the diversion, so they can make a play actually, since Fnatic ONIC is preoccupied with this Lord.
Humes, Cram, and Innocent on the aggression here. They're on the offense, they're looking for targets, and seems to be a feint. They're pushing him back, unless in comes Brusco.
Connecting onto two with the Raging Sandstorm. Here comes the diversion. Cram with the penalty zone. They're working on Innocent. Innocent is going to fall down in exchange for Brusco. He as well. Cram caught in the midst of everything. Last man is Stormy, and Sakai's wasn't in the picture. Fnatic ONIC Philippines takes 4 down.
The Sky Prince running solo, and he can only push mid. King Kong to the rescue, clean in-house. Selangor Red Giants reeling right now, 1 for 4. I thought it was the worst start when they lost Esan, when Innocent fell. But when Ikram followed, when you followed, when Stormy followed, oh no. Ingan, I think they're going for the end game.
One guard minion is here. Sakai is desperately trying to burst it down. He will do so successfully. But Fnatic ONIC Philippines, they have minions onto the middle lane. They're going to be disciplined enough to disengage. And that was enough time both for Sakai to save Selangor Giants.
Not quite the end game just yet. Fnatic ONIC Philippines reading the room. With a minute until the next Lord spawns, finally they might score one, and they'll take it slow, deliberate, surgical in their approach. Approaching the 16-minute mark, Innocent is actually in a better shape than Kelra.
Yeah, because again, Innocent, although he's at 2-3-1, still with the space created for Innocent, specifically from Cram and Yums, he's still able to do a lot of things for SRG. But the problem is Fnatic ONIC Philippines, they have a lot of engage.
That's what you call a funnel. And it's all in on Innocent. Fnatic ONIC, they have their eggs spread across many different baskets. There's one in a Swiss bank account somewhere else waiting, because that's what Super Prince's Feathered Airstrike is. It's such a long-range artillery spell that even if you start the fight with it, fight goes long enough, he's got another coming.
He's got another coming. I mean, looking at the battle spell, it's just a flicker, not even a purify, but still, one death. Despite there being a Yums show, so far Super Prince's super positioning has been doing wonders for Fnatic ONIC Philippines. So SRG, let's see what's their play.
Brusco coming in, conceal, spots Innocent. Does he force it? There's the Feathered Airstrike. There's a jump!
Winter Crown's not going to be enough to try and delay the push Fnatic ONIC Philippines is doing. King Kong on the other end is going down. Innocent on a rampage right now. Wind of Nature is going to be there for the two gold laners. They're working on Brusco. Might be able to take him down though. But Brusco has his immortality. It will be popped. Crown on the other hand goes down in the hands of the gold standard. A 2-for-1 trade. King Kong for Sakai's and Cram.
With Innocent, Yums, and Stormy here, what's the call? Do the Super Family blitz this Lord? Can they afford to do that?
Man, plan A should be the Hail Mary Innocent Spear of Destruction. They don't have, both teams don't have a Retribution holder, so it's still possible for SRG.
Watch out. Innocent does have an immortality. That gives him more of an advantage, a larger margin for error compared to what Kelra's working with. Just raw stats, sheer mechanics, instincts. That would take decades to perfect, that the gold standard has done through his years in professional play. Fnatic ONIC finally just respawned all in. Selangor making them work for this final Lord.
Okay, looking at the items, Innocent just pick up a Wind of Nature. On the other hand, Kelra has just the Rose Gold Meteor. So Innocent can still swap the Wind of Nature later on for the immortality. Let's see how Kelra's micro mechanics will save him up against a Titan like Innocent.
Lord here, down to half health. Fnatic ONIC urging, taunting, provoking SRG to dance. Cram up to the task. SRG taking control of this river brush, and a sneaky push by Innocent up top.
And that's the thing. That's what you're going to do if you're Innocent. Play the macro game. Play it at your own pace. Again, you did lose 2 inhibitor turrets, but that's the thing. You still have Moskov and Stormy with the Lu Yi.
So far, it looks like Selangor Giants have Fnatic ONIC's number. The macro, slightly better. The map control.
Oh,
Kirk down to put to a fifth of his health. Forced to use the ult.
Forced to use the ult, and he still gets the Lord away from SRG. Penalty zone will connect Stormy on the other hand onto the back line with the diversion. Winter Crown play. Here comes Innocent onto the top lane. He takes down an inhibitor with him. Sakai's doing his best to work on Kelra. 2 bodies will fall down for SRG. There's a Winter Crown, but look at the base coming in from Innocent. He already used up his Wind of Nature. King Kong's immortality will be popped. Now they're on the chase. They on the revenge onto Innocent. Kirk with Earth Shatter. Immortality will be popped, and they will shut him down.
Flashing back to his days in MPL Philippines. A failed segue. A backdoor denied. Esan falls. Fnatic ONIC Philippines on the offense. Cram flickering away.
Cram and Sakai's left to defend. There's the Lord sieging in onto the mid lane as King Kong works on Cram. The rest of the Super Family works on the push, works on game number 1.
Fnatic ONIC Philippines taking the first game here, threatening a sweep. SRG up against the ropes. 20 minutes. Definitely a grand finals preview. If you ask any fan, 5 minutes into the finish, you could have sworn anyone was going to win. Let's throw it over to our analysts to break it down.
And even when it strayed away from him, he said, no, I am still going to be the best. And as they continue to play and not make it to these M series, once they finally do, and now that all eyes are going to be on him for this upcoming matchup, it is a privilege to be not only on that stage, but to have to worry about expectations.
That is the man on your screens right now. The gold standard, Kelra versus half man, half beast in Innocent. And the player head-to-head so far in the M6 World Championship. Kelra leads in KDA and in the kills as well, but Innocent, a hell of a farmer. Plus 45.6 in terms of GPM.
I mean, right now, Kelra is 7-0 up Innocent. That's not looking too good for our half-man, half-beast there, you know?
Oh boy, poor guy, poor guy. At least nobody's getting knocked out. Innocent, despite winning in one of these categories, has going to need to bump up his stats for 2 more if he wants to compete against the gold standard so far, because he's already lost lane once in a bad matchup. Let's see whether or not maybe SRG is going to kind of pivot a little bit to try and give him something, their side laners, more of a chance.
Let's see if the Bruno will become a factor here again. If the gold laner picks or the jungler picks, especially with Julian being one of the last best options for SRG up against the Suyo of King Kong, not the funnest matchup in the world.
No, not at all. I think that game one really just boiled down to the jungle having too big of a discrepancy from SRG's side, but they're now on blue side. So they get to kind of dictate what FNOP goes for. We see that Loyi Cho ban out by SRG, going for the classic red side ban of Jusin and Fanny.
I'm curious to see how this is going to play out, right? Because if we're expecting, you know, Blue Yo once again into the alpha matchup, which is probably going to be the case here. Actually, no, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case because King Kong does have a pretty deep hero pool overall. It does point the direction towards the mid laners. Because again, we didn't see too many crazy diversions coming in from Stormy, in particular in the last match. And honestly, Super Friends was playing a very strong Farsa game. Every time we saw the Feather Airstrikes come out, it always guaranteed somebody getting put down to either 50%, if not 10% of their HP.
The approach from Stormy was also slightly different. With that Loyi, he sends himself in most of the time, right, instead of his teammate, which that I think kind of also shows how SRG wanted to play that game, but this Bruno ban is to guarantee that Innocent has a better matchup, or hopefully better matchup.
I'm curious about that very final ban for FNOP though.
Alpha is online.
So they denied that alpha.
Okay. More incentive for SRG to actually go for Blue Yo as their opener for this matchup. I don't know if they want to follow the exact same steps as FNOP though, because as much as I want to believe that Farsa is deadly, it scales very, very well. It works in a meta that's all about burst. Now that Bruno is gone, that might just be the go-to, but at the same time, FNOP could easily turn that around. There are easy ways to actually cancel it out.
There's Hilda and Hylos still up.
Yeah,
too.
Hilda, Hylos, are SRG gonna surprise and take away the joy from King Kong? I think a stable Hylos pick would be great.
Yeah.
Just anything for Cram right now, because it's a very different banning process from FNOP. So EXP laners are much more open and Cram can get on something a little bit more comfortable to zone. And they get the Hilda to take the charge.
Yeah,
Dang.
I can deal with this. Definitely not a first pick Joy. I think that one is out of the question for sure. But it does.
Yeah, not in the first pick, of course.
No, yeah, definitely not first pick. It does open up the Suyo for FNOP. If they want to take it again, they have always been going for that first pick Suyo, regardless on which side they're on.
Yeah.
Suyo Hylos?
Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
Suyo
Yeah,
Silos makes sense.
I like those as the first two for them, especially with the Cho gone. Yeah, different priorities. You're not gonna suddenly rush a Granger or something, but whoa, they really want that joy.
Okay.
And they got the Gata Kacha of that's a signature Gata Kacha for Brusco.
Wow, okay. So this is in anticipation of maybe the Tigreal coming into play, right? Tigreal goes for the implosion, you just GO it in to try and deny anybody from actually trying to follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. So it doesn't make... you get a skill matchup with the Suyo if you're SRG, but the answer is how do you deal with this Gatot, right? Not only it can be a solution to a Tigreal implosion, but also if you have any backline mages, which is all mages right now, Farsa, whatever, you have the Gatot to cut that battle line.
I'm thinking whether or not Hylos Matilda is actually a pretty good shout. Because I was thinking maybe going into the Belleric, but with Matilda still available, that might just be the option. So, Harith, interesting.
Been a while we've seen this young little hero get prioritized like this. Not the usual gold laner trades anymore, but I think SRG, they're playing for Snowball. Those first 3 picks scream we win the first 6 minutes of the game.
To the jungle.
Your team
Final
is
pick in the
banned.
very first phase. Granger going to get locked in early for FNOP. Harith does need to close the distance first to the Granger. Granger is able to kind of move out from the center of the blast if he does start throwing it out willy-nilly. But this second phase begs the question a couple of things. Both mid laners have not been selected just yet.
Yeah. It's going to be a very small pool by the end of this. So you still have like your classic Valen, Eve. We saw that Super Prince Farah. Sicilian was also banned in game 1 by SRG.
I think the Valentina is going to be the hot contested pick. That it's going to be up to the teams whether to ban it or open it, really, because it can be a good option for either or. I'm surprised FNOP actually banned out the Hylos. I thought they go for that themselves, because usually Brusco, when he plays the Gatot Kacha, he's not the main guy up front come the mid to the later portions of the game. It's Kirk, while he usually goes for more follow-up set with his AOG from the back line.
I was thinking instead of the Granger, they were going to go for the Eve, right? They already have the GOA. They kind of have an easy setup to put them inside that RWM in the first place. And maybe the high loss might have been like a supplement as a way to be like, hey, look away from the mid lane, ban out some random stuff.
There's also one thing that SRG hasn't addressed yet. How do you control this Joy? How do you keep this Joy in place? Hilda is definitely not the solution to it. You need a secondary answer. That's why this high loss ban now kind of makes a lot more sense, right? We stop that high loss that has that law and order that can instantly break the pace, the tempo of this Joy. Phoveus is still left in the pool. I mean, if SRG, but then SRG has a Hilda. I'm not sure if you want to run that roam Hilda.
I mean, it's not like we haven't seen Yums play Hilda before, but
That's true.
in the current metagame, it feels kind of bad if you're not ahead with Hilda.
Unless you do the Ohio Brothers Hilda Petrify.
Oh, don't remind me, don't remind me.
Your team
Ooh,
is banned.
Okay.
they read into a potential Akai pickup coming in from SRG. They decided to ban it out.
Very deep.
It could have been a roam pickup. Honest. Oh, the Tig is open for them.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think at this point, now that we haven't seen any mid lane bans, there's no point really banning out any mid laners at this point, especially with the relationship of Valentina as well as Yves. They're probably better off looking in a different direction here, but in terms of like EXP, it's starting to get really, really rough unless we talk about Swiss Army knives like Benedetta.
Yeah, FNOP probably gonna go take 4.
I give the word.
Take out the Kali. That's Tig roam, and then the Gatot Kacha goes EXP, then they save their mid laner pick for last. That's a working theory.
I think if you're FNOP, you're not worried about a Phoveus for SRG.
I think that the safest opening for FNOP, especially if they want to respond at the very end, is to take Valentina now. That way, if SRG do decide to play Tigreal into the Eve, you've got 2 great ultimates to
That
work
too.
with.
Yeah, I agree.
So they're opening up the trade. Valentina, Tigreal. And before suddenly we get another surprise pick in M6. I mean, that's been the trend so far. I think later for SRG. Oh yeah, see?
Your team is
Yeah, of course it's gonna be the Tigreal.
Now, I mean, you take it away, right? Like, even if SRG gets the Valentina and you somehow still implosion, you are still relying on You're relying on Valentina to stop Joy. That doesn't feel good, you know, if you're SRG.
And that's also close range. Your long range wave clear is not good. You're gonna have to go long range here for SRG.
Yeah, very, very difficult. I mean,
Did they get the box?
I would
Box or Vex,
imagine.
you know?
Oh, box or Vex, both are very good options. At the very least, disengage mechanics will be very helpful, especially if you're going to get chased by FNOP anyway. I mean, they've got some like great combinations, and I think obviously the Granger is going to be a large proponent of not only opening the map, but kind of soft setups for the team.
All right, what's SRG gonna end up with?
They go back for Veil. What if?
Ooh,
Oh, that's
Grog.
a Yums classic.
Only picked
Your team
once
is picking.
in the M6 World Championship, and they get the Valentina away. I think FNOP are going to be thinking into either the Aurora or the Eve.
That's a classic Yums pick.
Yeah, just take the Eve at this
I
point,
think
right?
it's the Eve, right?
Because they've covered both sides from the side of SRG. You go Farsa, it doesn't matter. You still have the Nature's Barrier to cancel it out, or even like the Wild Charge. Either or is totally fine.
And Grok is extremely weak to magic damage, right? If you power on that Yeep, it's gonna be super tough for Yums to just run up and set up a play.
Yeah. They might even consider that they will need a late game hero, because if they end up picking something like a Sicilian, that might be them going a little bit more conservative route. But yeah, Eve, of course.
I mean, if they go, yeah, luckily it's an Eve. I mean,
Yeah.
if they go Ceci, it's just FNOP saying that we are gonna win anyways. It's only a matter of time. But I mean, Eve is the safer pick.
All right, that's the Game 2 draft for you. Looking forward to seeing what happens in Game number 2. Will a Game 3 be forced, or will FNOP advance?
SRG have their work cut off for them. Up against the wall, Fnatic ONIC Philippines looking to close up shop. Looking for that sweep. Let's see if the hometown crowd will allow that. One more look at the draft.
Man, one of the Yums classic, the Grok. When push comes to shove, SRG is going to go back to their comfort, and they're really diving down in on the early game-centric composition of their lineup.
So far, SRG working with more utility now, in my opinion, than in Game 1. Fnatic ONIC, though, individually, such strong picks they ended up with. As we go into the battlefield, Claude and Dexter watching from up above. Let's get into Game number 2. Once more for all the marbles. 2 lives in the upper bracket, Fnatic ONIC Philippines versus SRG.
Man, if you're SRG, you really want as much as possible to advance to the upper bracket and keep your golden rose safe. And it looks like it's working pretty well for them, or at least for this draft, because again, Sekai's has a good meta hero right now with the Suyo.
That's what I'm saying. In Game 1, it's almost like FNOP did not allow for the Sky Prince to play. He was barely 3 feet off the ground. So don't even think of the Sky. Think of now, here, and that prio in the first phase on the Suyo definitely paid off. So already a minute in, I'll say it's a better look for SRG. Fnatic ONIC, though, what are they looking to do here? Because Ingan, it's very rare that you end up with such high AoE and high team fighting potential picks like the Tigreal, the Eve, and the Gatot in one go.
Yeah, imagine when it comes to the neutral objectives, of course, they're going to have good ground control because, again, the AoE, the CCs, but it's also possible for them to look for those initial pickoffs. Considering that Kelra has a Granger also, and when all those Rhapsody connects, he's gonna have an easy time in taking down members of SRG, especially when he picks up a Sky Piercer.
A little bit of a heart racer there, how King Kong just suddenly jumped out of the bush, sending home Yums. Early recall on that Grok, now more pressure down bottom. Sekai's pushed out of the lane. What does this XP lane feel like for you? Who's going to rotate out first? Because it looks like Kirk is holding his own.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Kram first, but they know this. That's why they're trying to go for Kram.
Here we go. King Kong looking for the stacks. Brusco down to a third of his health. And it looks like SRG win the engagement, sending back Fnatic ONIC. This is a cautious approach by the Filipino champions.
Yeah, they also lost the Revitalize from Kirk. So the aggression of Fnatic ONIC Philippines has been used up against them, while Yums just trying to zone out the members of Fnatic. And it looks like it's going to be an uncontested turtle take for SRG. But Kram, though.
Kirk down to a fifth of his health, maybe a 10th. AOG just for good measure.
Okay, just to be safe. Just making sure, because again, Stormy can just dash in and use the Shadow Strike to try and bring down Kirk. Again, he doesn't have his Revitalize during that time, so it's just safety measures for Kirk on that
SRG more cautious this time around. You're right. In most other games, the Mage Prodigy would have already been behind Tier 1, sandwiched between Tier 2. Going for that kill, but this time around, they're taking control of the map. They're going for plays that will benefit them in the long haul. Now Yums gets hit with the Retribution.
Okay, King Kong uses Retribution. Here comes the real Revelation coming in from Super Friends. Draws the first blow in the hands of Brusco to try and bring down Yums. Here comes Sekai's, though, with a Sever. Fnatic ONIC Philippines, that's the signal to walk away because we know Sekai's is there. We're not going to overcommit anymore.
BJ Brusco Paro is indeed a roamer, but folks, make no qualms about him getting first blood. I remember in the Swiss, man got one in 58 seconds.
58? Is that the fastest?
That was the prior fastest.
You don't call him Bruiser for nothing.
Whoa!
But you don't also call Sekai's the Sky Prince if he's not gonna shut down Brusco just like that with the Queller. And that's the tankiest hero of Fnatic ONIC Philippines, supposedly falling down in the hands of the Sky Prince.
Well, Sekai's, we were just blazing up Brusco. Now the answer, the clapback, Kram and Yums versus Kirk and King Kong. Stormy just behind, has that implosion stolen. what Super Prince thinking here. Does not have the RWM just yet.
Okay, so right now they're just gonna resort to dominating again the laning phase, specifically the XP lane, to help Cram rotate as much as faster, and at the same time give a lot of pressure for King Kong in his own jungle.
For the first couple of minutes, Kirk was holding his own, but now suddenly, Kirk is forced to stay underneath his turret. Now we're truly seeing what this matchup means. What a Hilda into most XP laners, here in this case, the Gatot, looks like. Second turtle spawn, upper quarter. This time around, maybe the gold laners will join in. The Harith and the Granger. When Granger was slowly rising, Harith slowly got pushed out. Yeah, so this is a matchup we don't see very often.
Yeah. I mean, Harith also used up when potentially there's a Bruno, but Cram, though,
hold up,
a little bit too deep there. Getting caught up by King Kong while Stormy works on Brusco. Here comes the electrifying beats. Cram running for his life.
Ikram! One more hit! King Kong gets him. The beast went hunting. Turtle down to a tenth of his health.
Okay, already commits the implosion, but the Purify coming in for Stormy is their Super Prince, though. Real manipulation! Gets an implosion, but is it going to be enough, though? Paired up with the power of nature and wild charge. It's not going to be enough, because Fnatic ONIC Philippines slowly slaughtering the Giants. Even King Kong onto the tier 1 turret gets one more.
The beast is on the hunt, and he finds another. Converting into a turret in mid. Fnatic ONIC Philippines are online. That's shut down by the Sky Prince. Not so fast as the gold standard gets one in return.
3 Death Sonatas connecting onto Sakai's. And Kelra once again proving that he is unfazed, unbothered. Even with a team like SRG, the MSC champions, Fnatic ONIC Philippines, they're more than enough, more confident to take down anyone in their way.
That's why they call him the Filipino savage, man. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He's gonna do what he's gonna do, and farm away he will. Now 2-0-1. Currently on top of the gold rankings. He's about 700 away, and now a fight breaks out.
Fight breaks out, but it's already done because Fnatic ONIC Philippines manages to pick 2. Stormy and Cram. Just look at how proactive Brusco is right now. A while ago, we've seen him getting scared or getting taken down by Sakai's with the Queller. And this time, with a huge win for the previous class for Fnatic ONIC Philippines, Brusco is now unbothered. The Bruiser in his element, just gonna zone out for Fnatic ONIC Philippines.
Oh, dear God! One more time! The Filipino savage is at work. He's now 1,000 and change ahead. Kelra is on a mission.
And that mission is to be the pride of the Philippines. Again, we only have one representative. The Philippines has one representative left. And Fnatic ONIC Philippines, the pressure is high, but it looks like they're unbothered. 3.4k gold lead, looking to get the turtle away from SRG.
This is the final turtle of game number 2. Fnatic ONIC's jungler way is up top. Cram here in the middle of everything.
But just look at the implosion once again coming in from Brusco, paired up with a real manipulation and unstoppable kill coming in from Kelra. Sakai diving into the defense, manages to get one though. Here comes the AOG coming in from Kirk, but Innocent picks up a kill as well. The answer from SRG is here, King Kong!
Coming in, Red 3 on the Cram. He's not done. Here comes the Beats.
The Beast slowly slaughtering the Giants, paired up with the help of Kirk. Gonna bring down one more. Kelra, Death Sonata. Is it gonna be enough though? There's no charge, so SRG is safe for now.
That's a DZF defensive Zaman force dropped in by Innocent to get out of harm's way. And just like that, the late entry from King Kong scores him the final Lord. 2-1 the score, 2-1. 8 minutes in, Fnatic ONIC, 5,000 gold ahead.
Scream his name and down, preventing SRG's tempo to regain their red tempo, but Brusco!
He elevates and he detonates!
With the AOG and implosion play, Kelra also working on the back. Even Cram, even Sakai will bow down to the gold standard.
And the Beast shall clean up house.
Oh.
And here comes Innocent from the back line. Super Prince pops him point blank. Fnatic ONIC, they sense it, they can feel it. Folks at home, can you smell what Fnatic ONIC is cooking?
I'm pretty sure Selangor Red Giant, They don't want to let the momentum of Fnatic ONIC Philippines carry over because so far there are a lot of isolated clashes, and all those clashes are won by Fnatic ONIC Philippines. They do, however, get some sort of kills for the trades, but it's not, unfortunately, it's not enough. And looking at the lineup of SRG, you'd expect them to actually dominate or at least have a good time in the early game, considering that they have a Harriet, they have a Suyo, and Fnatic ONIC Philippines, King Kong is a joy that scales up perfectly, especially in the late game.
They have expedited the farming phase for the Joy, and now Fnatic ONIC are sandbagging into SRG's side of the map, into their faces, and I think that's what's making it so hard for SRG to come back, making it hard for SRG to find a favorable engagement, an entry into the fight, because look, they're gonna throw Cram in here, but he's not so sure. Off camera, Innocent's down!
An off-cam kill, solo kill. King Kong brings down Innocent.
So low!
So low. Fnatic ONIC Philippines, here comes the real-world manipulation coming from Death! Sonata brings down Death to Stormy! Yum goes in just trying to delay the push of Fnatic ONIC Philippines, but here they are. They have minions working on the top lane turret.
They don't care about Sekai's in the back line. They want to penetrate. They want to come in!
Okay, Sekai's gonna dash out, but the problem is the base has now been exposed! Kelra just really working on the double! And now the recalls are here for Fnatic!
They have many choices. They could push mid, they can push top, they can take the Lord. What's Fnatic ONIC to do here? They're about 10,000 gold ahead. No waves. They should breathe, take it slow. Fnatic ONIC.
While all the while, the beast incarnate, King Kong himself, gonna work on the Lord. Just making sure Fnatic ONIC Philippines can end this flawlessly.
SRG, they're slowly folding to the high-octane engagements of Fnatic ONIC. I get it. SRG want to find the slow roll. They want to set it up for Innocent. They want Yums to get that Guardian's barrier into a great power of nature, the wild charge, but they just couldn't. Sekai's can only do so much.
Man, how can you set up, provide vision, and get the proper angle if even down to the Death Sonata, you're having a hard time trying to soak up the damage?
Not to mention catch the perfect ult, not to mention catching the implosion or the real-world manipulation. Even Stormy is compromised.
Okay, forcing out the Salmon Force already! King Kong electrifying beats! Innocent though, here comes the AOG!
That's 3, pushed back. Fnatic ONIC, 12,000 gold ahead. Pop in mid, bottom up next.
Lord sieging into top, while Fnatic ONIC Philippines working on the last inhibitor turret down bottom. Kelra and the rest of the super family in charge, in full control. Will they go for a play? We're all just waiting for Brusca to go in. Flicker in with the implosion play. Let's see how SRG will respawn. Minions onto the middle lane. Fnatic ONIC Philippines waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike though. Will they go for it? Look at Kelra with the Rhapsody. That's not connecting.
One more, the RWM, the stolen one away. Down goes Sekai's, that's one man down.
Kelra just working on bringing down bodies of the SRG implosion from Brusca!
They find 3, forcing them out. Down goes Yums, the RWM from Prince. King Kong taken out, traded out for Yums is down. Another one in the way. Innocent pop. And they go for more. The punish, the AOG by Kirk. Point blank, Stormy's gonna fall here. Down to 1. Ikram cannot take it up a notch. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The base standing. Fnatic ONIC Philippines, lakad matatag. The Filipino champions, the Philippines' last hope, march forward in the upper bracket.
The gold standard and the rest of the super family becomes the greatest obstacle to date that the Giants cannot overcome. Fnatic ONIC Philippines sends SRG to the lower bracket.
One life. One series loss for SRG. Fnatic ONIC breezing through the upper. Let's throw it over to our panel.